Alright everybody, hopefully this is working, so make sure it doesn't. Alright everybody. And a dead zone. That's awesome. Wow. Welcome to Wisconsin, where we have some of the worst cell phone coverage. I'm not kidding. There's something about the southern part of the state. Basically from Dubuque all the way to Janesville and then to Madison, like that triangle. AT&T and Verizon just totally forgot about everybody out here. Like, there's coverage close to town, but even in towns, there's terrible coverage. Like, it's really bad. I don't understand why the phone carriers just gave up out here. It's kind of ridiculous because, like, people live here, you know. Like, so anyway.
You told Jimmy to continue to 1016 or handle the lots of calls.
Right now we are, I really don't even know what I'm doing. This is something I normally wouldn't bother live streaming, but I don't really know what else to do because the target today is probably western Nebraska, like out by Ogallala. Now, I could get out there, well, now I can't, but I could have gotten out there. I would have had to have left at 4 o'clock this morning, which is fine. I could have done that fine, but I don't know, guys. It just didn't look like something that was worth driving, you know, getting up at, you know, 2:30 to leave at 4 and then driving 12 to 13 hours for, and then driving 12 to 13 hours back. I don't know. So I feel like since I'm not going out there, we need to at least do something. And we've got a line of strong storms coming through. Now, the Storm Prediction Center issued a mesoscale discussion, basically just saying that, hey, you know, these might strengthen. We might need a severe thunderstorm watch or something. Primarily the southern portion of the line. We're kind of stuck up here in this northern blob. But if you look back south of Dubuque over by like Makokata, Iowa, there is a special weather statement for like 50 to 55 mile per hour winds. So I'm just going to go south toward Freeport and just get into Illinois, and we may just go, this might be an hour live stream, this might be a 5-hour live stream, I don't know. I honestly don't. It is definitely possible that this might be a huge waste of time, but it's one of those things where it's like, if you look at it from my point of view, we've got hurricane season coming up, and if I just stop streaming, we're going to run out of funds for hurricane season. So we got to go out and do something, even if it's really not that exciting, because realistically, what makes a good live stream isn't necessarily if anything happens or not. It's more so, did anybody watch? And if people are watching, then you have a reason to be out, I guess. So just want to, temper everybody's expectations a little bit today, but it's possible we might end up with some nice shelf clouds or maybe some severe thunderstorm warnings here and there. But getting south is definitely the option. There's also the chance that maybe a little bit later on this afternoon and evening we could have more storms fire up. Maybe. I gotta stop at Quick Trip real quick. If more storms fire up this afternoon, then that means that we might be back out. And I really hope that's what happens, because this is pretty pathetic. It's been kind of a bad, the last 10 days have been really bad for storm chasing. Because yesterday was a decent, halfway decent day to be out. But it didn't really look decent until yesterday morning. It was one of those things, it was one of those days where it worked out really well if you were already out there. Like if I was already out there, we would have been chasing, it would have been a good chase. But if you're not already out there, it's one of those where you're probably not going to be because it didn't look very good. That could be how today is out there too. It doesn't look very good, but then it ends up being good. So that's why I talk about all the time with a lot of times when it comes to storm chasing, it's just a lot of these decent chases just happen because you're already out or you're nearby or whatever. So I'm also trying to balance chasing and building, because folks, we have a ton of devices that I'm building for Project Weather Eye for our tropical deployments here this year. And I know you're like, oh, you got a lot of time to build them probably. And yeah, I probably do, but what if I don't? What if we end up with a hurricane in the second week of August, We got to be ready or we're going to be in big trouble. So I'm trying, that's also influencing why I didn't go out yesterday, because I was really trying to get some of that done. And I'm making pretty good progress on it, so we should be done with that pretty soon. I need a place to park, and come on, man, there's nowhere to freaking park. When they built this Quick Trip, it's like they didn't anticipate it actually having a ton of customers or something, and they just built this tiny little parking lot. But anybody who knows Quick Trip knows that there's going to be a ton of customers. I'll take the mic in so you guys can get audio. So we'll be, this will just take a second. I don't know if the audio is going to work there through the brick wall, but prob's not, but it might. I will be right back. It'll probably cut in and out, whatever it is, what it is. Yeah, we're live on Facebook too, I forgot to mention that. So that's kind of cool. Okay. Okay then.
How you doing?
I'm okay, how are you?
Not too bad. Just flat ice. Just flat ice.
Did I?
Yeah. He needs to ice and a milk.
Okay, guys?
You're all set.
All right, thanks. You too. Oh boy, interesting characters in there this morning. Wow. Which is kind of unusual because this is a very kind of quiet, normal town. Some interesting characters in there, let me tell you. Oh my god. Jesus. I mean, everybody's welcome to do their hair and dress how they please and all that. That's fine, but I'm not even going to get into it because somebody's going to have a fit. It's funny, but somebody's going to have a fit. Anyway, welcome everybody on Facebook. It's nice to see a couple folks watching over there. Yeah, I'll just say it. So there's this this person in there and trying to, like, that was kind of standing in my way to get a drink, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. So I was just like kind of standing there for a second, and well, it's wearing underwear for shorts, and the underwear are way too small for the person. I'm not joking. No pants, just like long underwear, like boxers.
Contact Rockford PD for the rollover.
And that's it. I'm not kidding. I've never seen that in this town before. That's very interesting. Definitely not what I would choose to wear to the gas station in the morning. Oh God. I could have done without that. Oh, I got a green turn arrow. God, I'm such an idiot. Christ. Here we go. Alright, we're just going to go south and see what happens. That stronger part of the line, it's not severe worn, but it's going to cross Mississippi. We'll catch it somewhere south of Freeport. Like I said, this might be a waste. I have no idea. Yeah, Matt, it's only a matter of time before you get a quick trip up there. I was surprised that they put that quick trip in Belleville and didn't just say screw it and put it in New Glarus, honestly. Because your Casey's sucks over there. I feel bad for you. That, I don't know, man. That one's just not. They can never get the popcorn chicken right. It's always burnt. You thought I was in Beloit? Yeah. No, if I was in Beloit, you probably would have heard gunshots. God, that place has gotten bad. HRRR says that today is gonna suck.
10 a.m.
Oh, actually, hold on. That was the last run. Let me check the latest run. I'm not really seeing much for redevelopment on the HRRR, but the Storm Prediction Center says there could be more storms that develop later, but I don't know, guys. I really don't, but I will tell you, though, the earlier that this line of storms gets out of here, probably the better chance of some sort of development later on. Alright, so I got the Western omelet sandwich. It's also the only choice, unless you wanted garlic Parmesan chicken strips or something, and that just sounded terrible. I'm really surprised. I'm disappointed. Usually that Quick Trip in Monroe is pretty well stocked, but this morning it was pretty picked over. I think somebody dropped the ball there. Yeah, I don't know, guys. This is just a weird situation. Like I said, normally I wouldn't even bother being live for this. But I feel like it's kind of like, well, we have to do something. I mean, I wish I would have got going like an hour and a half earlier, because it would be nice to be down there by I-80, like down by LaSalle. There's definitely some stronger storms down there, but there's a stronger part of this line. And like I said, once we get south of Freeport, if this all goes to hell and it's all garbage, I'll let you know. I mean, we'll just say the hell with it, but... You're getting a quick trip in Evansville? Are you talking about a quick trip? Where? Where the hell are they going to put it? Evansville needs something bad, because that Casey's is not good. You've got... If you've never experienced Casey's, folks, there's good Casey's and bad Casey's. It's one or the other. And that Casey's in Evansville really kind of sucks. And the McDonald's there is terrible. So if they could actually get a quick trip over there, that would be nice. That would make me happy, because I think that would be a little bit closer than going to the Belleville one. I think that'd be a good solid, like, 4 minutes closer.
Terminal 801, you requested at 904 30th Avenue for a 74-year-old female. Dizzy, a bad headache, leaning to one side with possible weakness. Again, this is for 801, channel 7 is green, EMS, green clear, 910.
Alright, so I am, I'm really struggling right now. I need a can opener. I can't drink and drive without a can opener. Holy smokes, is the latency low on the stream, because I just nuked a comment about saying I'm drinking booze. No. This is not an advertisement. It's whatever garbage this is that I'm about to put in my body and probably regret later. Non-alcoholic, thank you. But I need a can opener because I can't get my finger underneath the little tab here, and I'm about to make a mess. Well, that's fantastic. We had our first idiot comment of the day, and we confirmed that the stream is low latency. That is fantastic. Wow, I've never had such good news before in my life. Should have got the tropical one. Why? No, the grape is the only one I'll drink. I don't like the other one. So here's the deal, folks. I try not to drink this stuff, but it doesn't have sugar in it, and it's got a bunch of caffeine. I'm sure it's got a bunch of other stuff that's probably bad, but it's not full of sugar. So I've just been trying to not have sugar constantly, because I've noticed I feel like crap. So I used to drink a lot of soda. Like, that was pretty much all I drank. And now I've limited it to, like, I'll drink soda once a day. And I'm sure there's doctors and dentists and stuff out there that are like, oh my God, you're gonna die. And it's like, yeah, whatever. Well, we're gonna die someday. But I know people that drink like 4 liters of Mountain Dew a day and Pepsi a day, and they're still alive. I mean, they don't look too good, but they're alive. So one of they ain't gonna kill me. But I drink a lot of sugar-free crap, like flavored water and stuff at home. And I'm kind of picky, because the stuff I get is at Costco and it's kind of expensive, but it tastes like soda, but it's not. And I'm like, well, whatever. So it doesn't have sugar. I just try to get rid of sugar, but like about 6 months ago, when I stopped drinking stuff that had sugar in it all the time, like, I noticed I don't feel like garbage all the time at all. Like, I used to feel like crap all the time, and like I couldn't wake up in the morning, and I think it's because I was like filling my body full of garbage, and I'm not, as I'm drinking a $3 energy drink. So do as I say, not as I do. Mountain Dew is terrible, Darla. And let me tell you, it's gotten, I swear they've done something to it and it's gotten worse. Like, it doesn't even taste like it used to. Does anybody else notice that, or is it just me? Like, it doesn't taste like it used to. Like, when I was in high school and stuff, I remember it tasting, like, good. And now it just tastes like weird. I don't know if it's because I'm drinking it out of bottles instead of cans or what, but it don't taste right anymore. Matt, one of these days I gotta run over there and pay you a visit or something. Those of you that don't know, Matt in the chat is not a creeper. He's almost my neighbor now. I've known Matt for a while, and he used to live over by Platteville, and now he lives close to me, so that's kind of cool. I gotta get over there and we'll go get lunch or something. I don't know. We got a lot of locals on the live stream now. We got Rob's neighbor. I ran into Rob's neighbor. I don't know if Rob's neighbor is actually Rob's neighbor or not. I could not confirm, but I ran into him and his son at Quick Trip a couple of nights. Well, this was probably a couple months ago, at like 11 o'clock at night, which is funny because it's Quick Trip and that's where everybody goes in Wisconsin. But and you know what? It was nice to meet somebody who's not weird. I shouldn't say that. I should say that's not like a lunatic, because sometimes I'll have people that track me down and they're freaking lunatics. But no, Rob's neighbor is very neighborly, and I can appreciate that. So we got a lot of locals in here today, I've noticed. Where am I based out of? Evansville area. Evansville, Brooklyn. Yeah, I don't do coffee. That tastes terrible. No, thank you. We got Oregon on the map now. Go. God, I haven't driven through there for a while. Okay, so you guys want an update about the Channel 27 garbage? So here's what happened. After I shut off the live stream the other day, I pulled into the Quick Trip in Oregon. And for anybody out there who's going to be like, it's not called Oregon, it's Oregon. No, it's Oregon. It's Wisconsin. We say stuff stupid. So I'm at the Quick Trip in Oregon, the new one, not the old one. And this Dane County Sheriff's Deputy pulls up beside me, and I'm texting on my phone getting gas. And all of a sudden I hear, "Hey, you're the guy." And I just look up, and I'm instantly annoyed, because I'm just like, oh god, here we go. And I'm like, what? And I just my natural reaction was like this really hostile, like, what? Like, what's the problem now? Like, really? So I was like, what? And then I realized it was a cop, and I was like, oh, like, what? And he's like, you're that guy that's fighting with the news station. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And he's like, yeah, everybody knows about that. And I'm like, really? And we're talking or whatever, and somebody overheard, and he goes, yeah, you're Vince, you're that guy that's pissed off at Channel 27. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. So I guess that's like locally viral now. Everybody knows about that. But no, what brought that up is somebody said something about that tornado over by like the northwest side of Dane County and stuff the other day. It was up by like Mazo and stuff. This cop that I ran into was actually up there, and I guess saw it. And he said it picked up like a 20 foot by 40 foot like pole barn, and like threw it and all sorts of stuff. So I was like, did you videotape it? And he's like, no, but I should have, and I'm really regretting it. And I'm like, well, yeah, cripes. But he was excited for seeing his first tornado, so. He was actually really nice. I just thought that was funny. He's like, yeah, you're that guy that I watched that's getting fighting with the news station. I'm like, yep. You got it. No, there's not going to be tornadoes with this today. Definitely not. We're just looking for like something stronger to the south, I guess. I don't know. Hello? Hi, what are you doing? You're what? Slime.
One injury.
Hold on.
So far we know of. Complaining of back pain. Could be State Highway 69 and 30th Street by MTX.
Okay, what were you saying?
The old MTX building. And this is for 802. Channel 3 is premium messaging clear 919.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Alright, is it still raining? Okay. Yep. I figured. Oh, she's okay. Alright, well, I'll let you get back to playing, okay? Yeah, not today. Oh, okay. Sorry. Alright, well, I will talk to you later, okay? Okay, I love you. Bye. Bye. Okay. Oh, God, I just got a text message, guys. Hi, I'm Emily. Hope I'm not catching you at a bad time. Well, yeah, you are, Emily, but whatever. We're currently hiring for a remote online position. It pays $600 per hour. You'll work 60 to 90 minutes daily. Payment is every day. You must be 21 years old to apply. Wow, it's almost too good to be true. What are we doing? We are doing 34 miles an hour in a 55, for crying out loud. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it seems like a pretty good job to me. I'll put a good word in for you guys. $600 an hour. Yep, I've had about enough of that. Oh, it's a Ford Ranger, too. It's always the Ford Ranger. Jacob, I'll tell you as soon as I make sure I'm not going in a dead zone. They, Channel 27, not Channel 3, Channel 27, after I told them that they were not allowed to use my live stream 3 times, they used my live stream on air, profited from it, and then when I called them and told them they better get it off of their coverage, their meteorologist Cameron and some chick called me a D-bag with their microphone on their broadcast, and then that Cameron guy said that he's gonna cuss me out on the next time they're on air or something. So I guess they're really not that nice over there. Just remember, folks, it's okay to be a jerk, but you need to be an honest jerk. Don't put up a fake front, because some of those guys over at 27, they act like that Cameron guy. He acts like he's just the nicest guy in the world, and oh, I'm so friendly. Well, apparently he's not, and neither is that chick. It's okay to be a jerk. Just be an honest jerk. Just saying. That really made me mad. I'm still waiting on my apology. I really actually don't want the apology for calling me a D-bag and stuff. I just want the apology for, because everybody's got their right to their opinion. I just want the apology for stealing my stuff. That's because I am a D-bag. Well, okay, cool. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate your ad revenue and your subscription. I'm happy that I was able to profit off of that. Thank you. But no, when you work with these news stations, you're going to find that there's, as like a freelancer for anything, you're going to find there's two different groups of television stations. There's very nice, very down to earth, very just really nicely run, properly managed stations where people are nice, they like their jobs, they do the right thing, there's a lot of integrity. And then you've got your other ones that are just run by a big corporate thing and they're greedy and they're not nice. Like, the reason that I came to an agreement with Channel 3.
For a two-vehicle accident with injury, patients complaining of hip pain and possible entrapment.
The reason that I came to an agreement with Channel 3 is because they're so nice. Like, everybody there is nice. They're nice to me. Like, they're nice to each other. They don't do dumb stuff, you know? So once we get through Freeport and keep going south, we should be in line for this like stronger part of the storm or whatever. I don't want to like get anybody's hopes up. They're really. When I say stronger part of the storm, I say that pretty loosely here, so. Not subscribed, never will. Work for a station and deal with nicer people than you. We have licenses for everybody we use. You're a very small fish in a large ocean. Okay, DC, I want to make something clear. I don't sell my video. I got into a fight on Twitter about this. Yeah, you want to fight? The other night. I don't sell video because I don't care. I really don't care about making $4 for 3 hours worth of my time. My money comes from creating live content and innovating. You don't understand my business if you think that I care about live video or by selling video. I don't. I haven't sold a piece of video for years. I was offered, and somebody's gonna say I'm stupid for this, but CBS, like corporate, offered me $7,000 for some tornado video for some like docu thing they were doing or whatever last year, and I said no because I don't want to get into a point where I have to hire my lawyer to go through the contract. That's going to cost me $800 by the time I'm done to make sure that the contract isn't me selling my rights to this video for the rest of my life. So it's not worth my time. I can make that $7,000 by being innovative or by doing something better than worrying about formatting a video file or something. Like, I understand that sounds snotty, but I also don't want my video in other people's stuff. If I get really good tornado video, I don't want it in the Weather Channel documentary. I want that in my documentary, my YouTube channel, my content. I don't want to feed somebody else's project unless it's very special to me or a very special case. Like, I turn down these movie people, these TV shows that always want to buy stock footage. I turn them down because I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to put my stuff in someone else's. To me, I feel like that's a very, like, B-level thing to do. If you're going to be a leader in an industry and innovative, you don't want to be known because your content or your intellectual property was featured in some stupid movie somewhere. No offense to anybody, I don't mean that derogatory for anybody that is, but You want to be known because somebody watched your content and your original work in its original format. You don't want to be known through a proxy. You want to be known and people to know of you for the original work, not the proxy. That's just how I feel, and I'm really snotty about it. But I believe that when you work hard for something, you need to reap the benefits for it on your own. And that's why I don't just farm out my live stream everywhere like a lot of people do and stuff. And that's a big reason why I stopped working with Ryan Hall at one point, because he was getting super chats. He was getting $500 super chats way back in the day that was like, oh, give this to Brandon and Vince. And we never got that, which I wouldn't expect it, because that's too much bookkeeping for him to do. But he also never said, hey guys, don't send me that, send that to them. And, you know, it was like, you know what, I don't want to be known through a proxy. Like, we're going to do this on our own. And that's why, you know, like with Project Weather Eye and stuff, all of the people that we're starting to work with, I'm trying to figure out ways that they can be involved in the project and still grow their own YouTube channels or Facebook channels or whatever they want to do. Because I think it's important that if people are going to be part of something, that they also have something that they can be proud of. Because number one, it solves conflicts before they happen. Because you don't have people that are like, oh yeah, you know, they're not arguing about stuff because, you know, they're growing, they're doing what they want to do, things like that. And also, it gives them additional income to make sure that we're all funded and, you know, we're good to go here. So I just wanted to address that comment, because I really don't care about these TV stations. I really don't, because realistically speaking, and no offense to anybody who's at a TV station, no offense, but that guy that wants to come in here and be snotty with me, we have more concurrent viewers on YouTube than a lot of news stations ever do when they go live on social media. A lot of times when these news stations go live on social media for severe weather coverage, they have like 100 people watching. You know, I don't like Ryan Hall, but he has, what, 30 to 100,000 people watching? That Max kid has anywhere between 15 and 50,000 watching. You got Freiberger out there with 10,000 watching. You've got the Storm Chasers with anywhere between 500 and 1,500 to 5,000 watching. You know? So it's people are getting away from traditional media, and they're really going to, I don't want to say freelance media, because this isn't really like freelance, but they're going to like independent media, whether it's like Steve Lookner or, you know, whoever. Which, by the way, Steve, I don't know if we got any Steve fans, but I actually had a conversation with Steve the other. Oh my God, that's almost a wreck. Did you see that? He almost hit that Equinox. God dang. Remember, folks, if there's going to be a car accident, it's got to be on camera. Damn, that would have been a YouTube short. I'm kidding. Don't want an accident. It's a joke. Calm down. But somebody mentioned in the chat a couple streams back, they were like, oh yeah, Steve Lookner was talking about you. So I reached out to him and I was like, hey, when you do, you know, hurricane news updates and stuff, since you're using, you know, Radar Omega and everything, you know, we might need to talk here. And I actually had a really nice conversation with Steve. And I said, you know what, Steve, I'm actually a fan of you. If you want to, like, pull my video, and we can probably work out something with Project Weather Eye. If you want some live content, if you're doing stuff and, like, news breaks and stuff during hurricanes and tropical stuff or whatever, I think we can do that. I will tell you, you know, from my brief conversation I had with him, that guy is actually genuinely a nice person. I know you can't judge people based off one conversation, but that guy was actually he seems very nice. But I mean, you look at like Steve Lookner, and whether you like him or not, I mean, guys, like instead of watching the nightly news, people are turning on Steve Lookner. Or, you know, we just had a meteorologist in Rockford, Illinois, Mark Henderson. He got shit canned from, was it Channel 23 or whatever channel he worked for, he got shit canned from. Budget cuts, I guess. Like, he didn't do anything wrong, but they slashed him. So he went to Facebook and he started like Mark Henderson's Weather Hub or something. He's gotten like 20,000 followers in the past 2 weeks. He's probably making some money off it. It looks like he's got some sponsors, and he's doing what he was doing on television, but on his time. And he gets to be the boss, and he gets to do what he wants, and he doesn't have to worry about pissing off his employer. He can drop the F-bomb if he wants to. You know, it's really a different world that we're transitioning into with social media and being able to do live broadcasts. We're going to have independent companies. Why are we in a dead zone? There's a cell phone tower right there. Good God, come on, man. We're going to have independent companies coming up, starting their own TV networks on social media and Roku. Guys, we've actually got a really cool product coming. You guys just wait for hurricane season. We've got a really awesome live broadcast coming. We're actually going to have some guests that we're going to be involved with as well. And you're going to see a couple of other smaller YouTube weather forecasters here get involved in this also. Not necessarily for Project Weather Eye, but kind of for the same goal that Project Weather Eye is doing. And it's actually really exciting to see. There's a lot coming, and I want to open my mouth and tell you guys about all this, but I can't until it's time to release it. But there's a lot of really cool stuff coming. And I can tell you this, at least for the Project Weather Eye, seethestorm.net, there's another couple other entities involved, but I'm not going to name drop because I don't want to give away hints. I'm sure you can probably read between the lines, but there's going to be a lot coming over the next 6 months of really cool technology and really cool, it's like Mike, our chief plumber, on staff here said it's going to be a quantum leap forward, and it really is, and I'm excited about it because this is all stuff that I've seen people work really hard on over the past year or two, and it's coming together. And not only is it coming together, but it's coming together to be very useful and really, really, it's all something that I would want to watch if I was at home or use or be involved with. There's a lot of cool stuff happening. I'm really happy, and I promise you, between now and the end of the year, there's going to be 12 really cool things that happen, and none of them in any way, shape, or form are gonna be oh, this was stupid. They're all really cool, and it's stuff we've taught. Wow, there is a beefaroo over there. So I'm really excited. This is a really cool time to be involved in weather. Yeah, Aiden's got a lot of cool updates too. He's putting some more lights on his Buick Encore. So there's that. Yeah, Aiden's gonna be out helping us with hurricane stuff. So is Zach. We've got some other folks too. Some of you folks may be watching that have applied to join the team. Guys, we haven't been able to touch base with everybody. If you haven't gotten an email and you're like, "Oh man, this sucks," don't think that you've been ignored. We've had a lot of people apply, and we're going to be bringing on a lot of people. It's just time has really, really been a valuable and really limited resource here lately. So understand we just haven't gotten through the list. If you haven't been contacted and you think you're a strong candidate, you probably will get an email. It's been really tough. I've got a lot of Project Weather Eye devices that I'm building. I'm not going to give the number, because if I give a number, somebody else is going to come out and make one more. But I'm going to tell you right now, folks, so we've got a $30,000 project on our hands, and I'm not, for anybody just joining in, we're just kind of talking about our projects and stuff going on as we head to this storm. But I'm not saying this to brag. I was really kind of distraught. I made a mention on social media that we've made a $30,000 investment into this, and I got a bunch of negative comments on Twitter. I actually deleted the post. There were a bunch of chasers and that James Pettis kid, a bunch of these people that were like, "Oh, you've got $30,000 to spend. then why the hell are you acting poor and taking super chats on YouTube? Maybe they should give those to somebody else. And it's like, okay, so since when does investing money in a business mean that you should stop making money? Listen, I'm gonna put this right out front and answer it, guys. When a business like mine comes out and says, "Hey, we invested this much money," that's not us saying, "Haha, screw you people that are broke that only make $20,000 a year. Screw you." That's not what we're saying. That's what those people were trying. That's what those guys were trying to frame us as saying. No, that's us saying, "Hey, we've worked really hard, and you guys have given us a lot of money and stuff over the years, and this is what we're doing with it." The $30,000 didn't come from my gambling addiction. That's the rumor right now. There's a Storm Chaser death pool. There's people betting on which Storm Chaser is going to die first. What a stupid thing. And there's also this thing where apparently I have a gambling addiction. I've never gambled before in my life. I've been to the casino, but I've never gambled. I don't even know how it works. But, folks, not all of this is my money. We went out and we got sponsors, folks. I never said I pulled $30,000 out of my butthole. I just dropped it on a table and said, here, let's buy equipment. Like, hello. We have sponsors, lots of sponsors here, like, duh. And some of that was mine, but not much of it. Like, we've got sponsors, and a lot of the sponsors don't want to be revealed until we have everything in place, which is coming very soon. Like, I was just really taken aback by that. I'm like, seriously? Like, we're really going to make this a negative thing? Like, come on, guys. Grow up. That's why I don't do this Storm Chase community anymore. But seriously, we've got a $30,000 project here coming, plus our regular operating fund. We're talking, we've got probably $70,000 going into hurricanes this year, guys. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh yeah, hey, if you make $70,000 a year, look, we're going to blow it in 3 weeks. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, because you folks watch the channel, you help us do what we do, you subscribe, you do the channel memberships, you super chat, all that stuff. That's why we go do this. We're not putting... Listen, I'm going to say this carefully for those in the back, the trolls. Would you rather me spend the money that we make from the channel, or would you rather me put it in my pocket and not do anything with it? I'm telling you that I'm spending the money that we make on the channel doing things for the channel. It's not going in my pocket, guys. That did not go to my bank account. That went immediately to purchase equipment, infrastructure, and payroll. Folks, we are paying people. We are hiring people, giving them money so that they can have a life and do stuff. It's not much money, but it's at least some compensation for their time. Like, we're creating part-time job opportunities here for hurricane season. Like, it's positive. It's a good thing. Be happy. This is what everybody's being involved in. You're not funding my vacations to I'm not going to say Guatemala because Edgar just went there and people are going to think I'm talking about him, and I'm not. But I don't know. I don't know. What? France. How about that? You're not funding my vacations to France. You're not funding my lifestyle. You're not funding me buying a bunch of fancy shit for my house. You're funding this channel to innovate and do stuff, and that's why we're here. And that's us saying thank you. Like, we're saying, yeah, we spent a bunch of money doing this. Thank you, sponsors. Thank you, audience, etc. So, long story short, I put noise cancellation on. We're getting hosed. Long story short, we got a lot of really cool stuff coming, and being able to spend a little bit of money on this has really opened up some opportunities because we don't have to cobble stuff together anymore. I'm so excited to show you guys this stuff. It is going to be nuts. Guadalupe? Where the hell is that? Is petrol going up in the U.S.? A little bit, but not much. I'm right by where you live. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Look at that cow over there. That's kind of cool. Oh no, you're right, Sophia. There are a lot of people that like and appreciate this. I just have to be on the freaking offense anymore. It's ridiculous. Why are we in a dead zone? Hold on, guys. We're having real signal issues, and I don't know why. I wonder if I forgot to pay the bill for something. Hold on. Okay, T-Mobile was not connecting for some reason, and I just redid it, and now it seems to be connected, so I think we're okay. T-Mobile covers really good here. You love it here? You know what? God dang, why are we struggling so bad? Oh my god. Hold on, guys. Something's not right here. Just give me 1 second. Maybe we're really in that bad of a spot. Let this try to stabilize. It actually could be the corn. I mean, it is blocking our line of sight somewhat. So, here's the deal. Like, yeah, Illinois actually is a pretty state. I just dog on it all the time because the government's kind of screwed up and the taxes are ridiculous. Chicago. When people think of Illinois, they think of Chicago and Springfield. That's really not Illinois. Like this right here, this is like 80% of Illinois. It's actually a pretty state. It's really good for storm chasing because it's pretty flat and there's a good road network. So. Yeah, the cell phone coverage out here is terrible too, but we're on Starlink also, and even that's struggling. I wonder if I've got actually a software issue. I wonder if my server is not bonding the connections properly. Because we're getting really high latency. We're like 600 milliseconds of latency between the stream and the cloud, and that's unusual. Usually it's like 80 milliseconds. So I wonder if I need to go in and reboot the server. I wonder if it's bogged down. I haven't rebooted it for a few weeks. It might need a reboot. Something's not right. But we do have a strong line segment about to kind of come through. We'll go a little bit farther south, guys, but there's really not a whole lot happening. If you guys use Radar Omega, you can see what I'm talking about. There's actually, you know what, guys? We might want to actually well, let's go to Shannon. We could go to Shannon and pay the Kemples a visit. Oh, God, they'd love that. You hear that, Gretchen? I'm coming for you. God dang. Actually, I don't think they live in Shannon anymore. I think they got repossessed, or their house got foreclosed or something. I'll tell you the story about the Kemples in a minute. Good Lord Almighty. This is crap. The farther south we go, the crappier it's going to get. Let's go back up to Freeport, because I think Freeport actually might start to flood a little bit. There's some really heavy rain coming down in Freeport, guys. And if anybody knows Freeport, it floods easily on that east side, going toward Rockford. Let's go up there and take a peek. Rockford is getting bad. I think it's just overflow from Chicago, honestly. Wow, I love it. The chat is basically nothing but facts about corn. That's how you know you're in Illinois. I'm really happy that you guys are so excited about corn. Now, I shouldn't dog on the Kemple. Like, Tom and Gretchen are actually... Well, Gretchen was pretty mean. They used to be the owner... Well, they were the owners of one of the ambulance services I worked at, and Gretchen was very mean to everybody. Tom, the guy's name was Tom, the owner. I think he's a good person. I just think his wife is awful, and I think she drags him into a trench. And I think if he would divorce her, I really think that he would probably be one of the nicest people ever, because he's honestly one of the best healthcare providers I've ever met. Very good paramedic, very good at his job. Honestly, a very generous person. Like, there were so many times I'd be at work and it'd be late. You know, I'd be fixing an ambulance and working on an ambulance or something, trying to get something going. It'd be, 9 o'clock at night, and he'd be working, and he'd go buy me dinner and stuff. But then she would walk and be like, well, we're not buying him dinner. He's got enough money. I'll never forget that time he brought me back dinner from Applebee's, and his wife walks in. I don't know why we paid for that. He's got enough money from us. And I'm just like, what the hell is your problem, lady? But, like, unfortunately, she always had him in a crappy mood. Like, he's one of those people that if he would get away from his wife, would probably be one of the nicest people and could probably change the world. But some people just get stuck in relationships. It's too bad. I will. I tell you what. I learned a lot from that job. I learned how to treat employees at that job. You don't. That's the thing. Like they were the admin staff at that place were so spiteful. Like somebody bought a car that worked there, and the owner's wife was like, huh, "Must be nice to have all that money." You know what? It is nice for that employee. Guess where they got that money? You and your business. Be proud. Be proud that you employed somebody and they got something nice. For Pete's sakes, like God, why be like that? You know, when you employ somebody and they go buy something nice, like you should take some pride in that because you were the reason they got to buy that. You know what I'm saying? You should be like, oh wow, I'm happy for you. Wow, that's great. You know, Christ. I had a lot of shitty bosses in my day. I had some good ones though. I had some good ones. I used to work at the Radio Shack in Monroe when I was in high school, and the two owners, Dave and Tina, they're super nice. The Radio Shack is actually still there, and it's a good Radio Shack. You can actually go in there and buy components, like seriously, like capacitors, resistors, LEDs, all sorts of stuff. And those two are actually super nice and super generous. You know, every Wednesday they bought lunch every Wednesday. And it wasn't crappy lunch. It was like good lunch. Like they would go wherever anybody wanted and go get them something to eat. They paid people well. I'll never forget the time we had a girl that worked there, and she worked there for a long time, but she was just going through a really tough time. She was making good money, but you know, she was in debt from previous life choices and stuff, and just was having a real hard time getting out. Was about to lose her house. And her car was breaking down, and you know, I'll never forget they co-signed on a car for her, and they gave her a bailout so they didn't lose their house, and did not ask for it in return, and just really nice people, like took care of the employees. You know, tried to, you know, and you know, when I went to work, it basically, you know, we didn't have rules. It was just do your job, and it was a nice working environment. You know, that's how you run a business. You hire people that don't need to be managed all the time, that don't need to be babysat, and then you end up with a really nice working environment. You just got to hire the right people. All right, we are getting absolutely dumped on here. Wow. Yeah, we might have some urban flooding problems come around in Freeport. We'll go take a look. Adam, the white Tahoe's fine. It needs a rear main seal, which that's not a huge deal. It's the new Tahoe, the 2020, that needs either a new motor or an AFM delete. I just don't have the money for it. I really don't. If it just needs the lifters and the cam, it's going to be $4,000. But if it needs a motor, we're talking closer to 10, and I'm not happy about that. But it is what it is. The white Tahoe, I think the torque converter is getting a little bit weak. Sometimes it has a hard time staying in lockup, but the rear main seal is leaking. So here's my thing: the transmission is solid, so the transmission has to come out to do the rear main seal. So I'm just going to go get a nice aftermarket torque converter and put that in when the rear main seal gets taken out and redone, you know, because then you're not paying extra labor. That's only a 4-speed transmission. If at some point it needs to be rebuilt or replaced, whatever, but it's okay right now. It's clean. The filter's clean. There's no chunks in it. It shifts perfect. It never misses. It's too nice. There's no reason to rebuild it. I'm just like, just throw a torque converter in there. And there's no clutch material in the fluid. I just think something's getting weak. It's just every now and then you feel that it just feels like it's not locking up right. It's just, I know that it's probably time to pay attention to it before the clutch starts coming apart and contaminating the fluid. But that's a very good truck. I tell you what, very good truck. You did your wife's 21 in the home garage? I tell you what, Adam, if you want to do mine, I'll give you more than 1,000. That's for sure. I'm not even kidding. I just don't have anywhere to do it. Is my problem. I don't have a garage or anything. Like, I could probably do it outside. It's really not. I mean, I don't know. You might agree or disagree. I don't think it's that hard of a job because, you know, for those of you that don't know, you don't have an overhead cam, so you don't have to worry about. You don't have timing chains everywhere. You've got a camshaft in the valley and push rods. Like, it's easier to deal with, but there's a lot of room in there to work. I probably could do it outside, but I'm afraid of getting dust and stuff and everything. But I don't know for sure if it's the lifter. It's number 5. It's got low compression, but we think, I have not done a compressed air or like a leak down test yet, but I'm pretty confident it's the lifter. I think the lifter either rolled sideways or the camshaft escort, something's wrong, because I took my mechanic stethoscope and there's a little bit of like, there's more noise on that cylinder than any other noise or any other cylinder. And I don't think it's piston rings because it's not really burning any oil. I really think it's in the top end. I don't think it's in the bottom. And there's no metal shavings in the pan. It's very clean. But I think it needs a cam and lifters and all that. But I got to get something done with that because that's a really nice truck. I need to get that fixed. It's too bad that those engines have that problem, but once it's done, it's they're solid trucks. You like to push some rod? I'm happy for you, man. Oh, I think they got the fair going on. You know, it's ridiculous how many of these lifter things are going bad. Like, I just hate it. I have a 5-year-old truck, and it needs motor work already. Like, that's ridiculous. It's got 200,000 miles on it, sure. But, man, still. I also have a, let's see, that's a 2009, so that makes it a what? I thought it was a 10. It's an 09. But I have a 2009 Tahoe, my white one. It's 2-wheel drive. So that makes that, what, 14 years old? 15 years old, 16 years old. Seriously? Yeah, that makes that thing 16 years old. I have a 16-year-old Tahoe with almost 300,000 miles on it, and I've never done motor work to it. We've just changed the oil like crazy, and it's been a very solid truck. That's been the most reliable and cheapest to own vehicle I've ever had. Like, it just runs well, it drives nice, and honestly, I'm at the point where if it does need motor work or a transmission or something major, I'm okay with it because it's gone so long without anything. Like, it's had little issues like oil leaks here and there. It's, you know, rear end has been worked on and it's had some stuff done, but nothing major. It's just been a really good truck. A really good truck. That was a good truck to buy. I spent $6,500 on that 2 years ago, and my God, we've gotten our money's worth out of it. I'm very happy. That's been the best purchase I've ever made. And that's got AFM. And 2009 was actually a bad year for AFM. Granted, the AFM was turned off. It wasn't deleted, but it was turned off at like 60,000 miles. But still. And that's never had issues. And 09 was a bad year for him. You did AFM stuff at 60,000 miles. That sucks. It's too bad because they're really nice vehicles. Like, they drive nice. They're comfortable. Like, it sucks. And then they've got the transmission issues. Like, the 21 and newer, though, I mean, you probably know better than I do, but I don't think they have as many transmission issues with those 8 and 10 speeds. I think those are primarily just torque converter issues, which is cheaper, but those 6L80s are just crap. It's part of the reason why I like my '09 Tahoe. It's got the 4-speed. It's the last year that they put the 4-speed in it. That year was actually a mix. Some of them had 6 speeds, some of them had 4. Thankfully, mine's a 4. It's only 2-wheel drive, but at the same time, I kind of look at it as well. That's a transfer case I don't have to worry about. That's a front axle I don't have to worry about. Guys, we're going to take a drive around and look for possibly some flooding in this area. I wonder if we're going to end up with some flooding between Freeport and Rockford here. 425,000 in your Toyota? Well, that's because it's a Toyota. Well, yeah, hydraulic lifters is just stupid. In general, I agree. Well, like, because what is it? Is it the 5.7 like Chrysler engine that's got that issue too? It's just there's too many. They're putting too many moving parts in these engines. You know, variable valve timing. Okay, fine. Because on the Fords, the 5.4s, like the F-150s, the Expeditions and stuff, yeah, they've got the cam phaser issues. They've always had that. But that wasn't that big of a deal. You could do the timing set on there for like $1,500. It wasn't a huge deal. But now we've got all these motors with, you know, DOD, you know, the displacement on demand, active fuel management, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff. They're doing too much with these motors. There's too much going on. We need to go back to simpler engines. And they say, oh, it's better for emissions. I disagree because people are throwing their vehicles away and they're ending up in scrap yards, and I don't think that's very good for emissions because now you're just buying a new one and manufacturing a new one. It's very wasteful. Jose, the bot is nuking your comments because it thinks it's spam because of the capitals, but I see. Yeah, they did. Yeah, I know. Yeah, they build these. They pretty much build these knowing that they're gonna break, and they just don't care. What kind of tip would it take to get you to drive through Frankfurt on your way? Where the hell is Alan? I've got no idea where Frankfurt even is. I seriously have no clue. You know what we should do? We should put an old carbureted motor in my Tahoe. Or we should just put something else in my new Tahoe that's not one of these new motors. I'm going to put this out there. If there's anybody here that thinks they actually could do that and not make it a hack job, if you email me, I will absolutely fund it. But that would be a really cool project if we could put something else in there and just make it more reliable. I don't know, put an older 5.3 in there or something that's been rebuilt. That would be cool. That'd be a neat. We could live stream that. That'd be a lot of fun, actually. Yeah, the auto start stop. I hate that stuff too. There's actually a shop in Janesville. It's the Butita Brothers. Well, it used to be. They're like, what do you, dude? There you go. They're like Great Water 360 affiliated now or something. They are a chain. Normally, I don't like chains, but I will tell you what, that's the best customer service I've ever had at a mechanic shop before. And they've only got like 3 or 4, maybe 5 guys that work there. But I tell you what, they're fast and they seem to do really good work. They're the ones that told me 4,000 to do the AFM and all that. And they're like 4,000. Basically, they're like, we won't go over 4,000. And I'm like, well, why is that like 1,500 less than everybody else? And the service writer's like, it's because we do so many of them. We've got like, we stock the parts, you know, we buy them in bulk and things like that. He's like, we do so many of these that we're starting to do them cheaper so that people will give us the jobs. He's like, we just cut the cost by, you know, buying the parts and stuff from better suppliers, and they're good parts. But you know, he was telling me that, you know, they're able to find like the factory parts like sometimes on eBay, like, you know, a dealership goes out or a shop goes out of service and like they sell their stuff on eBay and it's not opened, but it's still like the same thing you'd get from the dealership. And he's like, we just buy those up and stock them, which is smart. But they're really good there. Like I call them up when I do all my own work on these. Like I do a lot of suspension work. I call them up and I'm like, hey, I need an alignment done, but I gotta leave tomorrow. And they're like, okay, just get it over here. And I show up and they always get it done. They drop everything they're doing to get it done because they know how important my vehicle is. And I really appreciate that. But like they're really good over there. Those guys are always good to me. They're not the cheapest, but they're also not the most expensive. But you don't want to go to the cheapest. The cheapest is always cheapest for a reason. But they are by far the most honest, and they will not do stuff that doesn't need to be done. They will bill for things that they don't need to bill for. Because I've had them do quite a bit of work for me. And, what did I have them do? I think I had them do the. I think it was the. We're in a dead zone again. What is going on? I had them do the PTU, which is basically the transfer case in this thing, in this Explorer. I had them do the PTU like seals or something because they were leaking, and it looks like you need a special seal driver to do it. I didn't want to mess with it, so they did that for me. And while they were in there doing it, it was pretty cheap. They were only going to charge me like $200 or something. It was cheap. They called me and they were like, the front driver's side wheel bearing. They're like, it looks like it's going out. Like it had like that soot on the back of it. They're like, is this making noise? I'm like, well, not really, but occasionally I hear something from the front end. But I thought it was tires. And he's like, yeah, and the CV axle's got the boot's a little. And he's like, do you want us to do that stuff or do you want to do it? And I'm like, well, why don't you guys go ahead and do it? So they did it, and they didn't charge me any extra labor at all, even though they should have charged me labor to do the wheel bearing, because they didn't have to pull the wheel bearing and stuff out to do this. They just had to pull the axle out, and you can get that out with just pulling the strut. But they didn't charge me any labor for that wheel bearing at all. And that saved me 3 hours just because they were already there. I really appreciated that because they basically made that bill like $300 cheaper than anybody else would have. Yeah, we've already got some minor street flooding. There's like 2 inches of water on the road here. So we'll drive around a little bit. We might have some minor flooding issues here between here and Rockford today. So here's your kind of early heads up, Freeport and Rockford. Maybe some flooding here. I don't know where I'm going. Help! Shit, where do I go? But no, so what I want to do, we're going to be getting a shop or a warehouse here in a couple of months, basically, where I'm going to have some space to do this. But what I want to start doing is like in the winter when we do maintenance on vehicles, because typically in the winter I do a lot of maintenance, like a lot of preventative maintenance. I want to start live streaming it and just having some fun with it, lots of cameras, things like that. I think it'd be really cool because I've noticed a lot of our audience, like sometimes we'll have more, like when I'm cussing at my car trying to fix something, we'll have more viewers than when there's a tornado. But I actually like working on cars and stuff. I like working on motors. But I don't know a whole lot about, I only know certain engines. Like I'm really good with wow, look at that. There's some water. I know 7.3s, like old Ford diesels. I know those because when I went to school for this, it was a Ford sponsored program. So basically all we did was take apart Fords, like Power Strokes, International and Power Strokes. Well, like the 6.0, that diesel, which was a piece of junk. That was an International. It was a Navistar, which is International, but like International diesels and like Ford motor, like Ford Motor Company engines. They're all basically kind of the same. But so I know a lot about those. I can take a 7.3 apart and rebuild it probably in like 12 minutes with my eyes closed, kind of thing. And I know the 5.4 Triton and stuff, and I don't know much about Toyotas, Subarus. I don't know much about any of these other ones. That's why I don't buy Toyotas or Subarus or Dodge or Chrysler, because I don't know much about them. Like the Ford, you know, like when I had my F-150s and stuff, okay, the timing phase, you know, the cam phasers, when those go out, because they always go out, when those go out, I know exactly what to do. You pull everything off the front, you take the valve covers off, you take the front cover off, you put them up, you redo the timing, you put a new oil pump in it just for the hell of it. It's like a 12-hour job. It's straightforward because you know what you're doing. I don't have to sit there and look at a service manual. That's why I'm afraid to buy anything that I don't know how to work on. Because if I buy something that I don't know how to work on, I'm really, really getting a little bit into that uncharted territory where I very well could do something and really royally screwed up. So that's why I stay away from like Toyota and all that stuff, because I just don't know what I'm doing with it. What should your first SUV be? Alan, go find an old Toyota, RAV4, 4Runner, whatever, just an old Toyota. Or a Chevy Tahoe made prior to the year 2008. Just trust me. Or, you know what? Or if you want to go buy an old Jeep Cherokee, like an XJ, like in 1995 to, I don't know, like 2002 or 2003, Chrysler Cherokee XJ, you know, the boxy one, not the Grand Cherokee, the regular Cherokee, with a straight 6 in it. That thing will freaking run forever. It's going to leak oil everywhere, but it'll run forever. Well, if you can do basic car repairs, we'll go take a turn left here. Sometimes this business route floods a little bit. I tell you what, though, if you're comfortable with basic repairs, you probably could do some like head gasket and more internal work on some engines. Because some engines are really easy to work on. Seriously, I mean, some aren't, but some of these little 4 cylinders and stuff, like the older ones, like the Duratex that were in like the Ford Escapes, the little what is it, 2.3 liters? Those things are super easy to work on. The older stuff, like, don't be intimidated by older stuff. The newer stuff, maybe, but the older stuff, man, I tell you what, it's almost really hard to screw some of that stuff up. Very straightforward. But thanks for joining so far, everyone. I'm really actually starting to wonder if we are going to get flooding here. No flood warnings yet, but if you look, guys, look at Radar Omega. There is a really heavy slug of rain right over Freeport, and it's not moving very fast, and we're already starting to get some small ponding of water on the road here. So we may be going into a flash flood mode here. I don't know. Let me tell you, visibility is great. I might pull over up here, folks, and I think I'm gonna, dude, get off. What the frick are you doing, you stupid SOB? Look at this idiot. Jesus Christ. So sorry. So here's the backstory. I had my blinker on to get over into the right lane, and this guy who was riding my butt just goes over in the right lane. I didn't realize he just moved over into the right lane, and he just like hammers down, and I about smoked him. What the hell, dude? Jesus. Let me pull off for a second here. Guys, I'm gonna send an update about the rain coming down. I want to tweet or put this out on Facebook because I think Freeport and Rockford actually are going to have some potential flooding issues. Are you issuing a y'all watch? Oh, don't even get me started. So we're gonna tweet or put this on Facebook. What kind of white trailer trash maneuver was that? It's a little slow. I'm loading the loop right now. I have terrible signal right here. Is the storm hitting Dixon? Yeah, I mean it's just raining down there. I mean there's really nothing special happening. I'm more concerned about Freeport to Rockford right now than anything. Hold on, let me screen record this so I can post it. Hold on, I gotta put it into CapCut so I can trim it. Just give me a second. There's way too much work that goes into just posting a simple radar loop. I'm gonna make an app that just like does this for me or something. I don't know. Because when I screen record on iPhone, it's not in an actual like 9:16 aspect ratio. It's in something goofy. And Facebook doesn't like that, and it kind of throttles it a little bit because it doesn't fit on other people's phones properly. So I have to trim it down a little bit. My camera roll is nothing but just radar loops. Where is duplicate? There it is. All right, here we go. Oh, that's an interesting comment. Hold on, we'll put an umbrella emoji on there. Let's see here. Hold on, I gotta put some emojis in here, otherwise nobody's gonna care. And tag the location. Guys, we are almost done. Do you see why this takes so long now? Jesus, ridiculous. I can turn noise cancellation off. Freeport, Bahamas? No, Freeport, Illinois. Why would I be tagging it in Freeport, Bahamas? Cripes. All right, it's uploading. We've gotten almost 6 million views on, you guys remember this short? Or this reel? 6 million views on that, almost. With the hail from the other day in Colorado. The hail and the storm and all that. Yeah, 6 million views on that. It's because it's people arguing whether or not if it's weather modification. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I believe in free speech and constitutional rights and all that. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, you're not allowed to talk about that or question that. Because I feel like people have a right. If you want to sit there and be like, oh, is this engineering or geo man-made? I feel like you actually have a right to do that. So, like, if you're going to respectfully sit there and be like, I think this is geoengineering, like, as long as you're not being a jerk to people, I'm going to leave your comment. However, the people that come in there and accuse me of, like, controlling the weather, those kind of lunatics, yeah, they get nuked. Flooding by the Dunkin' Donuts. I didn't even know there was a Dunkin' Donuts in town. Ellsworth, Illinois. I have no idea where that is, to be honest with you. All right, we're going by the tire factory or whatever this is. I don't know if it's actually a tire factory or if it's just rubber. Whatever it is, I don't even know. We'll get on 20 here for a minute. See how traffic's moving. That car has rear fog lights, I'll be damned. I mean, you could mow your lawn in this if you wanted to. I would not recommend it. I think I'm going to start moving east, guys. It looks like a lot of rain is coming into like western Winnebago County. Even, yeah, the median's full of water too. I'm not real, like I said, not really expecting a flash flooding event here, but we might come across some minor, you know, some like localized flooding problems here by the looks of it. Thanks, Aiden. Nobody asked. Appreciate that useful information. I'm just kidding. Really wish that Buick was out here today. Anyway. No, so, I mean, there's really nothing illegal. Like, if I turn the radio on, I mean, having the background music, I mean, if somebody wanted to sue me, they could sue me, I guess, but it's not going to happen. But YouTube will get pissed off and take my stream down. It's kind of dumb. We really need to redo the copyright laws in this country because, like, for example, like, when you have music on the radio, it's meant to be listened to. And, like, for example, doing a broadcast where the radio's on in the background and, like, the radio isn't the main focus of the broadcast, you should not be able to get sued for that. That's really stupid, you know, because you're going to listen to it on the radio whether you're... it's stupid. We really need to redo the copyright laws in this country. They just don't make any sense. Yeah, we could do like royalty-free music. I mean, you guys are correct. I'm not going to talk about that too much because there may or may not be something in the works that is in time, trust me. We're working on some upgrades around here. But you are correct. I mean, we can license our license stuff through services. You are absolutely correct. What kind of wipers are they? These are the cheap Rain-X wipers and they suck. But they're cheap, and I'm not going to spend $30 a wiper blade for this car, so they do suck. It's just I put a bunch of Rain-X on the windshield. Like, every couple of days I put a bunch of Rain-X on it. That's probably why it looks like it's doing better than it is. I do not recommend the Rain-X wipers, honestly. What are we doing? Oh, this guy's turning and he's not using the turn lane. Got it. Yeah, traffic's moving pretty slow out here. There's actually a lot of standing water on the road. So, I guess rightfully so. That guy needs to turn his lights on.
Force through. 10-4 engine 4, covers general fire, no contact with front.
It's possible a lot of this heavy rain is going to move up into like the Beloit, Janesville region over the next few hours. Again, I'm not trying to overplay this by any means, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do have some small flooding issues, you know, here and there.
Show me 23, current 3205.
No outside work today, why not? Just put your raincoat on, problem solved. I actually want to be outside getting some work done today too, like building more stuff for Project Weather Eye, so it needs to stop raining. It needs to stop. Is this rain gonna hit Chicago? I would think so. Here, I'll put Radar Omega up on screen. Give me a second. I gotta find the button. Make your own judgment call here. So there's Radar Omega. I don't know what zoom level it's at right now on the server, but you can kind of, yeah, so my video is covering up Chicago, but you can see that big blob of rain. I would imagine it's going to make it into Chicago. I don't know why it wouldn't. We'll make our way into the west side of Rockford.
Engine 4's on at the grade school facility, brick construction, left control from 3 sides. You can make this a 1070 with engine 4 low. 10-4, engine 4 is on the school facility, brick, left control 3 sides, handle it low, mind if I can do it.
Yeah, downtown Freeport is kind of... Yeah, Freeport, there's a lot of... I see the comment in the chat. Yeah, so there's a lot of people that live in Freeport that are really mad at Freeport. I guess the city government really dropped the ball over the past few years. And I don't know all the details, but I guess something's not right. But yeah, it's really not what it used to be. Even just 10 years ago, it used to be so much nicer. There's actually, the heaviest rain right now is from southeast of Freeport through Pecatonica up toward like the Lake Somerset region. Any of you locals? Why doesn't this guy just pass me? Cripes. There we go. God dang. And that's kind of moving toward Beloit, parts of Rockford. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not expecting flash flood warning criteria, but I would expect maybe some local flooding here and there. We'll check the west side of Rockford. It's always flooded. West side of Rockford always floods over. Calm in Sterling. Yeah. You're basically, once these heavy showers and thunderstorms move through, that's going to be about it. There might be more development later on today though. I don't know, I'm just not super confident because none of the models are really showing those storms redeveloping.
Available.
But, you know, there's a very good chance that we're going to be back with a severe weather live stream. Hold on, we're not like in focus, are we? There's a very good chance we're going to be back with a severe weather live stream, maybe eastern Iowa or something, later on this evening. Yeah, this is the earliest that I've started up a live stream in a very long time. Watch out, we don't want to rear end the mailman here. Jesus. I bet that job sucks. I would not want to do that job. There are some shady ambulance companies in this area, Scott. You know just what to say to get me on a story. Wow, it's almost like that was planned. You're correct. Metro Medical Services with good old Jeff Stringer, the pedo. They went under because they got bought. So we used to have this shady ambulance service called Metro, and they got bought. No, they bought ATS because we used to have ATS as well, which was the owner of the company. His name was like paying them $300,000 or whatever dollars a year to staff their ambulances for them. When newsflash, if you do 24-hour shifts, you can staff an ambulance with 6 people and then a couple, fill-in folks, but you can do it for pay a better wage because they want to pay, EMS personnel between $15 and $20 an hour. And I'm going to tell you one thing, unless it's a very rural volunteer fire department where it's basically volunteering with just a little bit of extra, to kind of compensate you for it. If it's a career job and you're making between $15 and $20 an hour to get in an ambulance and go prevent somebody from dying, we have a huge problem. So Metro's garbage, if they're even around. They're a joke. Superior ambulances here, they're not too bad, I guess. They're just too corporate. But we used to have an ambulance service up in Janesville that was called Paratech. And that was actually, I never worked there, but I was told it was a really good place to work. But they got bought by like Midwest something. Midwest Health Services or something. They got bought out, and I guess it's not a very good place to work anymore, which is sad. But that used to be like one of the better places to work, from what I was told. Was I guess they just treated people better and the pay was pretty competitive. There's a lot of like volunteer fire departments that are basically volunteer, but they'll pay like EMS staff for like their time, and usually it's minimum wage. But that's different because you're going on like one call a week, it seems like, and it's basically just, it's something that you normally would volunteer for, but you're getting a little bit back for it. That's different, Yeah, there's a lot of politics with Rockford area healthcare, that's for sure. Oh, stay in your lane, Jesus. The reflections, I looked over for a second, and when I looked back, the reflections from the red lights on the road, I thought they were like 4 cones in the lane. I'm like, what the hell? And no, it's like the reflections. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that was weird. I thought it was 4 cones. Yeah, this is a good question. This is the bad side of Rockford. The really bad side of Rockford is a couple of blocks south of here. But unfortunately, I know this town fairly well. I never lived here, thank God. There's actually some nice parts of Rockford. Like the east side is actually not bad. Nice and clean over there, but for many years I had a friend, his name was Eric, and we used to do radio shit together. Unfortunately, he died like 2 or 3 days after Christmas last year, which is really sad. Some of you guys actually might remember Eric from the chat. He would always come in here and talk about radio and how corrupt Rockford is. long time ago, and I can actually take you guys over there. We're too far away from the one, but Latham Road and Route 2, just west of that intersection, there's a 460-foot radio tower that B103 is on. And that's also where the NOAA weather radio transmitter for the area is. We used to have a VHF repeater up at the top, up on the top of that, a ham repeater, and we used that for weather. And that thing covered almost to Chicago all the way to Madison. And we could start a weather net on there and take people's reports from counties everywhere. And we had the weather service that monitored that. It worked very well. And unfortunately, that's not around anymore, and there's nothing comparable to it. It's too bad. We also had another repeater that was the UHF on 444725. That was over on the 1049, the WXRX tower. That's over there by the Costco. It's at Riverside and I-90 by the hospital. There's a tower over there by that tennis court or whatever. That's where that one was. I think 96.3 is on that tower also. Either 96.3 or 95.3. One of those radio stations is on that tower also. But he just had a lot of health problems, and he wasn't that old, but he croaked. And it's really sad because he was a really good guy to have around. But that's how I got familiar with Rockford, because I had to spend a lot of time down here, because it was a lot of maintenance keeping that stuff up. And I definitely learned which places of town to not go, that's for sure. But yeah, I miss when we had those systems on the air, because the Rochelle tornado, that's what I was doing for the Rochelle tornado. I was behind a desk and a radio, and we had people on that tornado, and we had the weather service monitoring, and we were getting second by the second updates of that. I mean, it was something. We had that system working good, and then we had some. Basically, we lost the tower sites because Midwest Family Broadcasting's a bunch of crooks. You suck, Mike. But seriously, crooks. And the guy's name was Mike. He's a crook. And no offense to any other Mikes out there, but we lost those sites and just never got put back up. But those clown shows from that Rockford Scanner page tried to start Rockford Skywarn. Oh boy, Rockford Skywarn. Oh, you're so cool. Oh boy, certified Skywarn over here. Yeah, it was funny because, well, Eric and I, we called it Northern Illinois Skywarn because we covered the entire area, and we weren't one of these freaking Aries groups or any of that. It was us, and we had some help, and my friend Sean was involved. Like we had this set up. Well, we actually had this set up so well that, and the repeater covered so well that we actually had people that had pagers, and we could actually page using the repeater, and it would cover, like, even with just like the little Minuter 5, like the fire department pagers, it would cover pretty much the entire area, and we would actually like page people when we were going to start a net or if something was happening, and people would like go grab their radio. It worked out really well. It was slick. But yeah, these cutesy little Rockford Scanner groupies tried to. It was funny because they were always taking shots at us. They would post on their page like, breaking news, the fire department got called over to Eric's house, which happened because he had a radio tower at his house. It was only 100 foot. We didn't use that for the repeater. That was just for like his own personal thing. Long story short, he had some people working on something, and they cut one of the guy wires, and the tower started like swaying back and forth. And Eric didn't know what the hell to do, so he called the fire department. He's like, "This thing's gonna fall on my house. Like, I need some freaking help over here." And so he called the fire department, and they paged the fire department over there. And there's Rockford Scanner. Oh, they're going over to Eric's house. Oh yeah, that Rockford Scanner page. They are such a freaking joke. They are an absolute menace to society. And they were always picking on us, and it's like, yeah, screw you. You know what? Your walkie-talkies might be cool, but our walkie-talkies are cooler, so kiss mine. Like, you want to have a walkie-talkie war, and we're gonna have a walkie-talkie war. Freaking clown show. So we got a lot of ham radio people in the chat. Yeah, it was the WX9 MCS repeaters. I need to see if I can get that call sign before somebody else takes it, because Eric's dead, so somebody needs to take that call sign before somebody else gets it. But yeah, we had that stuff set up so well. Like, we had it set up, we could actually bring it, we had a link, we could link it to the fish fire. I don't know if anybody from this area knows what the fish fire system was, but the guy that started the fish fire system, his name was Fish. And I forgot what FAR was, but the fish FAR system was like 10 UHF repeaters all over Northeast Illinois, and they were linked together for weather. So you could talk to like the weather service basically from anywhere in Northeast Illinois and make reports. And we could link these things into the fish FAR system and stuff, and we had so many different things, cool things we could do with this stuff. I mean, it was something, that's for sure. We had this set up well. I mean, he did 99.9% of the work. I came in late to the party, but I remember many late nights at these tower sites, either programming or fixing, and we actually had a hard line. With the hard line that ran up to the top of the tower on the 103.1, the B103 tower site. I think 98.5, the country station's on that tower too. I might not be for certain, but I remember that hard line was actually air compressed, so it was like 1 7/8 hard line or something, and basically you had to charge it with an air compressor. That was the dielectric. Instead of having some sort of like dielectric medium in there, the dielectric was air, and it was leaking. And so we rigged up this like air compressor with a regulator, because obviously we couldn't climb up there and we didn't have money to fix it. So Eric had this idea. He's like, well, why don't we just put an air compressor on it and just charge it with air and just figure out what pressure is going to be what, and we'll just have it constantly running. I remember at like 3 o'clock in the morning trying to rig up this freaking air compressor to charge the hard line. Everything was nuts. I mean, we did a lot of cool shit over there, I tell you what. We did a lot of cool stuff. It's too bad that he died. It really is. He knew his stuff, that's for sure. We're gonna go over to the east side of town here. We'll take a left up here, or we can go down farther. I don't know. I was just looking around to see if there is any street flooding. I'm not seeing any yet. I'm running this light. This will be business route 20 up here. I was surprised because like, we've gotten quite a bit of rain here, and there was like no urban flooding at all. I'm honestly very surprised. No turn on red. Challenge accepted. Why? Why can't I turn on the red? That seems kind of dumb. I can't see around this truck to my left, otherwise I would. You're telling me this is the decent side of town? Ouch. Well, I'm hoping today we get a red light. Or a green light, rather. Red light. I already got a red light. Oh yeah, absolutely agree. If I wasn't streaming, I definitely would have taken a right on that red light. Absolutely. 100% would have. I'm not even going to lie to you. Absolutely would have. Anyway, we'll go over here to the interstate. Go that way. I don't feel like taking back roads. This is Rockford. I forgot to lock the doors. There are reasons why there are laws in this country, and it's not to cater to you and those like you who choose not to obey them. Me? Are you upset because I said I was going to turn right on red? Is that why you said that? Or are you talking to someone else? Because there's no way somebody's that upset because I said I was going to turn right on red. There's no way. No possible way that we're that upset about it. Gotta be something else. No, there will definitely not be tornadoes from this. This is trash. No, oh no, like, yeah, it absolutely is legal to turn right on red, but there was a sign back there that said you couldn't turn right on red. And I made the comment that if I wasn't streaming, I would have just turned right on red because nobody was coming that entire time. Like, I mean, realistically, I mean, who wouldn't? Like, because if you don't, the person behind you is just going to lay on the horn anyway, guarantee you. Oh my God, that guy says he was going to turn right on the red, even though there's a sign that said you can't. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Who cares? Oh my God, you're doing 60 in a 55. Oh my God, I'm calling the sheriff's department. Okay, go ahead. Here's another one that I've heard. I got an email from the other day. This was actually good. I should put this on screen if I get time later. This guy sends me an email with a screen recording. And he's like, you passed this car in a no passing zone. This is ridiculous. You have no right to do that. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to forward this to the Illinois Highway Police or something. And I responded with, this guy's name was Brad. And I was like, okay, Brad, I really appreciate it. First of all, this occurred in Wisconsin, not Illinois. So you're emailing the wrong people. Second of all, that was a passing zone indicated by the dashed yellow line. Like, that is a dashed yellow line. That indicates that it is indeed a passing zone. And then I basically finished off the reply with, and also, it doesn't really matter, because even if it was a no passing zone, there were no cars coming, and it doesn't affect you at home, the viewer, so you really should just keep your thoughts to yourself instead of crying about it. I did not receive another email back. I was really hoping that I would get some feedback for that. Today. There we go. We're not doing too bad with the lights today. Also haven't gone through many of them. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, hey, there's the Portillo's over there on the left where Nikki and I went on our first, like, date that didn't involve Netflix at 2 in the morning. She took me there. Well, actually, no, correction. Here's what really happened. We were driving through or something, and she's like, I want something to eat. And I'm like, yeah, we need to get something to eat. And this was, like, maybe the second or third time we did anything together at all. And she's like, oh, let's go to Portillo's. I'm like, oh, yeah, because they just opened it. And we ordered, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is going to be like a $20 evening or something. And it ended up being like $45 worth of food. I couldn't frickin' believe it. And I feel like all we got was a hot dog and French fries. It was like, I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. What the hell is this? So, Chris, I actually had somebody call our sheriff's department on me once to report my illegal driving that was occurring in Kansas. And I got a call after the stream ended because the deputy waited for the stream to end because he didn't want to interrupt me. I knew him. And he's like, hey, so we got a traffic complaint. And I'm like, I'm in Kansas. And he's like, exactly. He's like, we got a traffic complaint about your driving in Kansas, and they called us. I'm like, you're kidding me. And he's like, no. I'm like, well, what was the complaint? And he's like, speeding. And I'm like, and how are they determining speed? And he's like, I don't fucking know, man. He's like, what a waste of my time. He's like, I did open the live stream, and he's like, I can't tell if you're speeding, and I'm a cop, so who cares? I'm like, exactly. I was like, I was definitely speeding, but not, 5 to 10 over is not really speeding. So yeah, somebody called my local sheriff's department to report my speeding in Kansas. But you're calling the wrong people, dude. Like, at that point, you're the problem because you're wasting somebody's time. Cry me a river. The storming crab. Can't make this up, people. Boil Cajun seafood. Not boiled, boil. Okay. Okay, well, this has been absolutely 100% uneventful. We've basically what we've done today is we've driven in a circle. Let me tell you, I'm really, really happy that I didn't bomb south into Bloomington, Illinois. Like, I was really... And you know what? I might have made it, actually, judging by the fact that the storms are just barely southwest of there right now. I think I would have made it. If when I left the house, if I would have just got on the interstate and went south as fast as I could have, I think we would have made it. But they're pretty pathetic looking down there, too. So it's probably a good idea that we stayed up here, because I don't think it's much different. Yeah, it's good though that we did some sort of a live stream with this, because we usually don't stream. Like, I honestly don't remember the last time that I streamed before 1 in the afternoon. You know, it's been a long time. I mean, we've done it before where we go live at 5, 6, 7 in the morning, but it doesn't happen much. It's good that we got the opportunity though, just to, you know, because there is a different group on in the morning. Some people work different shifts and everything.
Charlie 13, get a medical call on Charles Street. 10-4-6-5-6-0 Charles Street.
Team and engine 501, respond to medical call at 6560 Charles Street. Charlie 13 and engine 501, respond to medical call at 6560 Charles Street.
Attention, Cherry Valley Fire, Charlie 13 en route, 6560 Charles Street for a medical. 88-year-old female, trouble breathing. Adam Zebra 45. 10-4501.
Well, traffic's moving decent. I mean, moving 60 miles an hour here, so it's not too bad. Yeah, a lot of models are not showing redevelopment later on today, but it's happened before. So the backside of this large complex of showers and storms is almost to Rockford now, so we might be able to get the sun to come out and heat up the air enough that we could destabilize. So we might still have some severe weather later on in this region. So I'm not ruling out another live stream. We definitely might have another live stream. I don't know.
Yeah, 4501 SC.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to, once I get back home, I'll make a little bit of a more detailed forecast for later, because yesterday the HRRR model was really showing some storm potential in Iowa, but it doesn't look like it's really going to happen much, so I don't know, folks. I'll try to put out something more detailed for that. But I'm probably going to start wrapping that might be about it here. But I'll try to put some thoughts out later on. Maybe in the next 2 or 3 hours. If you guys would like, you can join our Discord server. It is free. There should be a link on seethestorm.net, but I noticed last night that for some reason the link disappeared, so I will fix that. I think I might have deleted it by accident when I made a change, so I'll fix it. If you are not following us on Facebook, you really should go over there and follow my page. If you go to seethestorm.net, there is a link to follow on Facebook. Really recommend that. I'm trying to do a lot more with that page. And thanks, folks, for riding along for what was kind of boring, but I've seen worse.
We're try 13 arriving on speed.
But again, I will have a Facebook post out in like maybe 2 hours or so with some thoughts on today. And in about 20 minutes, we'll have that new update from the Storm Prediction Center, so that'll help. We'll see if they keep everything in the slight risk or if they drop it. All right, folks, so you guys have a good afternoon. I might see you back, I might not, I don't know, but either way, you'll have an update soon. And thanks for following, everyone. Appreciate it. Talk to you later.